We're back on the road. Very exciting. Welcome back to Off-Road Crusader. I'm Todd. Today we are heading up the hill. We're going all the way up to Wellington Dam, and we are going to do a quick day trip on the Lennard Track. Now the Lennard Track is based just outside of Wellington Dam, which is near Collie in WA. It is quite a short track. Most of it is quite mild. There's lots of great swimming spots and a few little mild challenges. It then gives you the option to pull off at about 2/3 of the way if you want to stay with doing mild tracks and that sort of stuff. The last section is some, from memory anyway, is some pretty steep and scrabbly hill climbs with some ruts. So we're going to aim for them because that's just me. But if you're doing this track, you do not have to. So I thought I'd just take you along and do a bit of a trip along and show you some of the swimming holes and some of the challenges that the track presents and some of the awesome scenery that's there as well, because it's an amazing spot, and we are really blessed to be able to have little tracks like this that we can go down and explore and just have a little day trip and just enjoy the bush for what it is. So I'm going to keep cruising along. Through the power of editing, you get to see the start of the track in 3, 2, 1. We're here. So this track does get closed seasonally, especially over winter. It sometimes is closed in summer as well, depending on fire seasons and bushfire risks and that sort of stuff. But generally, if you're going in the warmer months, it should be open. We are here just past Honeymoon Pool. So you drive through Honeymoon Pool to get to this spot here. Check the gate. The gate's open. Cool, let's go forward. I'm going to pull up a little bit further and find a clearing to air down. This is more for, I suppose, comfort, a little bit of extra traction, I suppose, as well, but also to take care of the track. When you've got hard tyres and you've got gravel and stuff like this, they do tend to dig it out a lot more, whereas if you've got softer tyres and you haven't got as much wheel spin, you won't cause as much damage to the track. So we're going to move up a little bit further. I'm going to air down to about 25 psi and then we'll keep moving. Started the track. There's already been a few sections where it's a little bit washed out, and they've got some holes and bits and pieces. So I mean, so far, I mean, I'm only literally a few hundred meters into the track, but already I've had a few little challenges, which has been great. The sort of challenges where if you had a soft rotor, you would still have fun. You'd get through it, not a problem, but you'd be picking your lines and maybe having a bit of a chat how the best way to do it. For a four-wheel drive, especially like a modified four-wheel drive, you're not going to have any issues. But so far the track's been excellent. I thought it would have been graded since last time I was here, but to be honest, it seems just as used as last time I was here. Oh, here's a nice little clearing. I'm going to show you this. swimming hole down that way to some rapids, which is really nice. And then on this side, you got some nice clear deep water, great for a swim. All along this track is great for swimming, especially in the warmer months. There's nothing living really in the water. You've got a few redfin and maybe some yabbies, but that's pretty much it. Nothing's going to hurt you. So yeah, come along, have a swim. Just watch out for like obviously submerged items like your logs and rocks and that sort of stuff. But yeah, apart from that, it's absolutely perfect here. Something else to note about this track as well is it is quite narrow. There's not a huge amount of spaces to turn around. There are some pull-off areas, which is great. But if you're going to do this track, I highly recommend starting at the southern end, which is near Honeymoon Pool, and then progressing up the track, heading sort of northwest. I think you sort of get to experience the best of it that way. Also, if everyone's going in the same direction, you're not going to have these scenarios where a group of people have to pull off and try and find somewhere to pull off into the bush to let a car or two cars or whatever through, which is just a little bit hard, especially on this track because it's so tight and windy and you can't really see what you're doing, and you are on the side of a river valley as well, so there is obviously the potential to, if you do get it wrong, to roll into the river, which is not ideal, and we definitely try and avoid that. So look, if you're going to do this track, definitely head to the Honeymoon Pool end first, and start the track from there, because it is really enjoyable, and that way it sort of progressively becomes more of an adventure the longer you're on the track. Also, I can smell my sausage rolls in the back cooking, which is just fantastic. So in a little while, when I pull over and want to have some lunch, my hot sausage rolls are crispy and ready to go. So this is one of my favourite spots on the Lennard Track. You'll see there's a little marker down here somewhere, which will show you how many meters, how many 100 meters from the start of the track each of these spots is. This particular spot there's not a lot of room to bring a car down. You need a four-wheel drive. It's not going to be level. You obviously can't camp here, but it is a fantastic swimming spot, mainly because not many people can get down here, or they have to park up at the track or whatever. So I really like it. We've stopped here a number of times and swam. The water isn't too fast, it's not too deep, the rocks on the bottom are quite smooth, like there's a big like granite sort of floor to the whole thing, which is great just to be able to sit in the water. And also behind the car up there is a track around a little bit upstream of this where there is a rock, I'll show you now, where you can actually jump off of that and then float probably about 20 meters down the river, and you end up at this spot down here. So it's awesome just if you want to come out and have a bit of a run around with your mates and have a swim to cool off on these hot summer months. If you come here though, take care of it. Don't go and leave rubbish around like there's a whole heap here. I'm going to pick up a whole heap of rubbish and throw it in my dirty gear bag while I'm here. And yeah, if you're going to come here, just take care of it. There's no point in leaving all your rubbish out here, otherwise no one will get to enjoy it. So here we are. This is the main day use area of the Lennard Track. It's quite a big space. There's probably room here for about half a dozen to a dozen cars, and lots of little pull-off areas where obviously different groups can gather. Right next to the water, plenty of access for swimming and that sort of thing, and lots of shade, which is really, really important. There is only one bench, one like sort of park table, I suppose you could call it, and there's also a long drop toilet here as well for facilities, which is better than nothing. It means that usually this sort of place doesn't really get trashed with toilet paper as much as other places, as you may have seen. So yeah, I'm going to probably have some lunch, going to sit around and chill for a little bit, probably have a swim, and then we'll keep going. This is a fantastic place to stop if you're planning on doing the Lennard Track as a day trip. It is a good sort of just before it starts to get to that gnarly section. So yeah, you would have probably enjoyed some moderate four-wheel driving. Got to this bit and then gone, oh, we'll stop and have a bit of a breather, have a drink, have something to eat, and then keep going and see what else the track throws at us. So I'm gonna go get those sausage rolls out and enjoy. How good's this? Got the whole place to myself. Water is super nice. There's a very slight current, which is kind of really nice to have, and plenty of sunny spots and plenty of shady spots as well. The actual base of the river is like a fine rock, sandy sort of mix, with like logs and rocks and stuff mixed in between. So plenty of nice spots to stand like this one, or you can clamber all over the rocks if you want to, but this is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to keep having a bit of a swim. This is so nice. Especially after all these 40-degree days. And yeah, gonna just sit here and enjoy it for a little while. Then we'll get back on the track and see what the sort of hard and difficult sections of the Lennard Track look like, and if the big 200 can manage them. Oh. So the track's starting to climb up now. We're getting pretty high up into the valley. You can sort of see, I mean obviously the camera never really does it justice, but all the way down there is the river. And we've got plenty more to go before we get out of here, but I reckon we're at least 150 metres up from the river that we were before, all within the span of about 20 seconds. Yeah, beauty. So we've made it to the end of the moderate section of the Lennard Track. If you turn left at this intersection, that takes you back up to Pyle Road, which will eventually drop you out at either Collie or Dardanup. Just a fire trail, that one there, so absolutely no issues driving that track. Or follow the track to the right and it takes you towards the back of Burracup. Very steep hilly country down that way, still following the river valley. So yeah, guess which way we're going. We're gonna go, no just kidding, we're going that way. Bring it on. I haven't been here for a long time. I tackled this track before my first son was born, so that's nearly 3 years ago. Even then it was very scrabbly. It was very loose and steep, and you had to just commit to drive the whole hill climb in one go. You'll understand when you actually see the hill climb. It's just like 2 or 3 long steep hills after another, and they're on this sort of scrabbly gravel, so yeah, you can't really stop too much on the way. That's the main difficult section of the difficult track, and the main reason of that obviously is because it's so steep, but there's also very few places to actually turn around if conditions are bad or you can't quite make it. You do really have to go, okay, we're either doing this or we're not. So yeah, we're just going to keep pulling on. Oh, I found another little spot for you. Hang on, I'll show you around. Big day use area here. Fantastic, heaps of shade. It's a bit of a shame you can't camp out here, but I can understand they'd get wrecked pretty quick, these spots. Let's see if I can get over there. Bit of a gnarly track to get down here, some big rock ledges and pretty steep coming down too, but massive big rock granite outcrop, nice clear water pool, pretty looking rapids, and an awesome little cubbyhole section over here which looks kind of fairy tale-esque. It's pretty sweet. Wow, this place is really pretty. I think you could spend all day just finding little spots and pulling over to have a drink and a swim. It's awesome. I've got to keep moving though because I got to get back to daycare. So this here is the last rest spot, sort of pullover location next to the river before you get to the crazy stuff. And it looks pretty underwhelming, except there is a wire suspended over the river all the way to the other side. Looks like it's been there a while. Love to know what it was used for. Probably hauling stuff across the river or something like that, but definitely it's not something you see all the time. So we're down here, right up there. I don't know if you can see it. That's where we got to get to. It's a massive elevation change, especially for WA in such a short space, such a short span of distance. We got to go up there, so let's go. Here it is, the start of the gnarly hill climb. A little bit apprehensive, to be honest. It's been very dry and dusty, and even the moderate sections have not been as easy as they previously have. So I'm interested to see what this has turned out like. We'll get up there, no problems with the 200, but I just wanted to see how easy it's going to be. So from this point onwards, we're only going upwards and all the way to the end of the track. I'm not going outside because it's hot and very dusty. So yeah, we're going to set up some cameras and see if we can get this climb. I'll see if I can record how long, or like distance wise, the hill climb is, because it's pretty significant. Yeah, let's jump into it. If you're curious about how dusty it is out here, it is just super fine, real fine dust. And you imagine water getting on this and turning into slick mud on these steep hills. Would be lots of fun, but potentially quite dangerous, hence why they close it. I imagine before they decided to close it, it would have been one absolute gnarly four-wheel drive track. It's always hard to show just how steep these things are, but if you look at the angle of the trees, it'll give you an idea. I'm struggling to walk up and down this, it's crazy. And it keeps going. That's the hardest bit done. Just got to peak the summit. Oh, just about there, whoa! And that's it, we've done it. There's your victory spot. So there it is, the Lennard Track, all done and dusted. Literally, there is dust everywhere on this thing. The first 2/3 of this track definitely is moderate. If you've got a stock or a mildly modified four-wheel drive, the first 2/3 is going to be perfect for you. Great to test your skills and to try out some different terrains and you know, try and conquer the first part of the Lennard Track, which is still a bit of a challenge in itself. The last part here, which we've done with the massive hill climb, definitely wait until you are a bit more experienced, or wait until you're with a crew who has experience, because yeah, look, it's quite a steep hill, it's quite gnarly, very rocky and rutted and dusty, and there is the chance of something going really wrong, especially on steep hills with all this sort of stuff going on. So the last third, yep, definitely wait until you are a bit more experienced, but the first 2/3, go for it. There's plenty of great spots to stop off during the day as well, to stop and have a swim, have some lunch, that sort of stuff, and enjoy this awesome national park. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Off-Road Crusader. If you want to support the channel any further, we have t-shirts for sale at offroadcrusader.bigcartel.com, link in the description. Also stickers and some new patches coming soon as well. Do check out the Patreon page as well, where some absolute legends support the channel and help me get to the channel to further heights than it otherwise wouldn't. So thank you to all my patrons who watch my videos and support me along the way. Time to go home and wash up, I think. We'll catch you next time on Off-Road Crusader. Cheers.